Hey everybody, it's that time of year again. We are getting into fall, and that means for many of us, it's school time. So today I'm going to be doing the back to school tag. So hi, my name's Talia. I love books, I love bandanas. I'm so glad you're on my channel today. It's been a while since I have been in school personally. However, I am a homeschooling mom to my 3 kiddos. And this year, my daughter's doing first grade. My twin boys are doing kindergarten. We actually are just wrapping up our first week of school, and wowzers, it's been a doozy. Homeschooling is not for the faint of heart. There's definitely been some high highs and some low lows, but we're all still alive. We're hanging in there and moving on to another week next week. But I am pretty excited to do this tag. It's some pretty fun questions. I have some pretty fun books to talk about. So let's just jump into it. The original tag was created by Bangity Bangs, and I was tagged by the lovely Jolene over at Bookworm Adventure Girl. So I have my notes I've taken for this tag, and let's just get right into it. So the first prompt is fresh new outfit. So book with the best dressed characters. I probably spent more time on this question than any other of the questions, because I don't outfits are not super important to me, and I feel like when I'm reading, I don't tend to pay close attention to what people are wearing. Like if it's an in detailed description of like someone's dress, I'm just kind of like, yes, great, nice dress. You know what I mean? Like that's not part of the story that's super important to me. However, Cy Montgomery's The Hummingbird's Gift has beautiful descriptions of hummingbirds, and they are beautiful, beautifully dressed little creatures. So that is what I am picking. And if you have not read that book and just want to learn a little bit more about hummingbirds, highly recommend it. It is a fantastic short nonfiction read. Love that one so much. Okay, prompt number 2 is The Lab Partner. So a new sci-fi book that you want to read. So I picked Recursion by Blake Crouch. I have read one other book by Blake Crouch, Dark Matter, and I really liked that one a lot. And I've had this one on my shelf for quite a while. It sounds like it's like this city or town, and they're having like this disease spread through, and it's kind of wiping people out. But then as the main characters are researching and trying to figure out what's going on, they figure out it's not a matter with disease, it's somehow a matter of like time that is messing with everything and throwing everything off kilter. So I don't know much more about it than that. It sounds like it's going to be really interesting. So this is definitely one that's on my TBR for soon. Okay, next question, favorite teacher, book with a great mentor. For this one, I picked Counting by Sevens by Holly Goldberg Sloan. And my aunt has my copy of this book because I loved it so much that I gave it to her to read, and she has already read it and loved it as well. This is actually a middle grade novel, and it's funny because the mentor I have in mind is like a terrible mentor at the beginning of the book. He's this counselor, I think at the middle school, because I think the main character is in middle school, and he just doesn't care about his students at all. Like he has them come into his office and he basically just like ignores them, and if they don't want to talk, he just kind of lets them sit there, and he's like always like, I don't want to be here. How did I get here? Why am I doing this job? Like he doesn't care at all. But his progression throughout the book is so good. And the way this character, the main character, she like gets him to want to be a better person. And like by the end, he like basically sees her as a daughter and like cares more about his other kids and other students. And he just really goes above and beyond to be a decent person and a decent mentor. And I just loved him so much. So can't remember his name right now, so not important. He was a great character, so definitely recommend that for a book with a great mentor in it. Okay, prompt number 4 is new supplies, favorite new reading or writing accessories. So I have the most amazing pens. So my friend gave me one of these recently, and I had to go out and immediately buy more for myself. So these are friction clickable erasable pens. And so erasable pens have been around for a while. Like I remember having them in like high school and they were not good. Like they didn't write well and they didn't really erase well. It was just like they were not good. So I gave up on erasable pens and I had no idea how far they have come because these pens write so smoothly and it's just like gel flowing as you're writing, like feels great. And they erase so well, like better than a pencil erases, like almost gone. So I have like a black, kind of like maroony, a orange, a pink, a blue, and they make so many different colors. My kids love them. They have like a green and some other colors as well. So I really can't recommend them enough. I'm gonna put a link in my in the description of this video if you want to check some out for yourself. They're just so fun. I even let my kids do math in them, which kind of stressed me out at first. I was like, you know, math should be in pencil. You know, always doing math growing up, it was like, math is in pencil, math is in pencil. One of them asked me this week, like, can I do my math with my green pen? And I was like, okay, I guess so. Because why not? It's a writing utensil, it erases, and honestly, they are more fun to use than pencils. So definitely, these are fun. These are a good time. Okay, prompt number 5 is old friends. Book you want to reread or a book featuring a favorite friendship. For this one, I picked Other Birds by Sarah Addison Allen. This was a book that I got at the library this year and I loved it. It was one that I want to reread because it had such like magical feelings throughout it, but not in a magical way. It just like sucked you in and wove you through these like mysterious elements. And it had great friendships that were woven throughout it as well. So I want to reread that book because I want to see if it makes me feel the same way it did the second time around, because the first time around, I just really enjoyed it. It was great. Okay, ready for sweater weather. Book featuring cold weather. Okay, I've talked about this one before. Into Thin Air by Jon Krakauer. This is Jon Krakauer's true account of climbing Mount Everest and this crazy disaster that happened where a bunch of his team members died during the descent. And it is such a good book, but also the whole time I read it, I was just thinking, it's so cold, it's so cold, it's so cold. Why are they doing this? Like, why are they pushing themselves so hard? Like, just give up, people, go home. Especially knowing how it was gonna end, that a bunch of them were gonna die. It was just like, oh my gosh. So yes, lots of coldness in here. They're cold from start to end and a lot of them freeze to death. So there you go. Okay. Open House is prompt number 7. Book that made a memorable, good or bad first impression. So I pulled this one from my shelves, The Rosie Project by Graham Simpson. And I really love this book. So if you've seen The Big Bang Theory, that TV show, picture Sheldon, because that's who I pictured when I was reading this book. We have like this Sheldon-like character, and he decides he's gonna find a spouse, and he decides that there can be like a scientific formula to find the perfect spouse. And he makes like this list of like a whole bunch of traits, like this is what they're gonna have, and he like sends out to like find his perfect match. And then he meets a girl who is obviously not his perfect match, and they become friends, and the story kind of goes from there. And I just thought this was such a cute, sweet story. Like, it's one that I don't know if I would read again, because I know like how it ends, and I don't know that I would care to go through it again. But every time I see it on my shelf, I'm like, oh, like that was a good time. So yeah, this one's staying with me. I did try to read the second one and I DNF'd it. It didn't have like the same vibes because there's a sequel after this, and I didn't get into that one as well. But this one was adorable. So that's sticking with me. Okay, prompt number 8, too early for this. Book you would get out of bed for, or you can change it to Allnighter, last book you stayed up too late reading. So I think this was hard for me because I couldn't remember exactly, but I think the last book that I really stayed up late reading was And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. Because once you're in this book, it's really hard to put it down. You really want to know what happened. And it's so easy to read, so like free flowing for a mystery. It all just kind of like keeps you moving and weaving around, and you just don't want to stop. So I'm pretty sure that this is the last book that I stayed up significantly past my bedtime to finish. Okay, the textbook costs how much? Book you spent too much money on. This was recent. So you guys know, if you've been watching my channel, I love like the Goodwill books. I love the books from eBay. I like finding a good deal. And even if I'm buying new books, I'm like going on Amazon and trying to find like good deals, like when they have like the buy two get one free, or like trying to find good deals. I do, however, like to shop at my local bookshop once in a while because I like to support them, even though the books are way more expensive than anywhere else. And I purchased The Covenant of Water by Abraham Verghese recently. And I actually used gift card money, so it wasn't even my money, but still, when I purchased it, I was like, oh, that's expensive. So it was $32, which is not crazy. Like, it's a thick hardcover, so that's a pretty standard price. But when you're not used to paying like full price for the hardcovers, you're kind of like, oh, wow, I could just wait like a year and get this used for probably like $3, you know? But I'm confident this is going to be an amazing book, and we'll see. Time will tell if that was money well spent, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to like it. So there you go. Okay, last question. Best school in literature you want to attend / a book with a school setting. Okay, obviously we're going to pick Harry Potter. I should get my copy down. Hang on a second. It was on my new, my floating shelves. If you haven't seen my video on floating shelves, you should check them out. My floating shelves are pretty awesome. So best book with a school setting, Harry Potter. I mean, who doesn't want to go live at Hogwarts? Like, I just think any kid / college student who read Harry Potter, and now adult who's waiting anxiously for my kids to be old enough to read Harry Potter, I just love Hogwarts, and I think it is just a place that a lot of us would like to escape and attend, and yeah, I think Hogwarts holds a special place in a lot of our hearts. This is my Mina Lima edition. I have not even read it and looked through like all the amazingness yet, but it is super cool. It has like super fun illustrations and like interactive, like there's the clock that spins, and I just think that like when I read this for the first time with my kids, like it's gonna be amazing. Like, this is Harry Potter's invitation to Hogwarts that you can like open, and yeah, I love this edition so much. So yeah, that concludes this tag. Let's tag a few people, and I should have planned this more ahead of time. Okay, I'm gonna tag He Who Speaks Tales, because I don't think I've ever seen him do a tag, and I love his channel so much, and I think a tag would be really funny from him. So I'm also gonna tag Book Blather. I haven't tagged them in a while, and I love Dave and Olive. Let's see, who else? Let's do one more. I will tag Dia from Novel Idea, because I haven't tagged her in a while either. So yeah, hope you guys do this tag if you want to, if you have time in your busy schedules for it. And the rest of you can do it too. Feel free to jump on in. I would love to see your answers. I hope you all are doing well wherever you are. I hope you take some time today to read a good book or two. And if you are having a bad hair day, just wear bandana. Bye.